So what we're going to do now is we're going to work on the foot, because this is the most important part. Most of the effort is on the foot and on the ankle. So in the last little piece, we had rounded this down. That's not a bad shape. It's a little bit high here, but if you look, the shape of this curve is what I'm interested in. It's not bad. Let's look at this foot. And you notice I got some pencil lines on here. And you say, gee, why did you do that? This is where we're going to. And if you see this line here, that's the outside of the slipper. And when I turned the foot, I made no attempt to define that. So there's just this extra piece there. So that's what we're going to do first. I drew this on, and I drew this on, and then I looked at it, and I made sure that it was symmetrical. Because it's more important that it be symmetrical than it be the same as this, if you see what I mean. Because nobody's looking at this foot and at this foot at exactly the same time, but they are looking at the two sides of the same foot at the same time. So get it symmetrical. So I've drawn these lines on. These Japanese rasps work really well on this. It would work better if I could stand over here so you couldn't see anything. So let's do it this way. I do miss my pattern maker's vice. Yet another way to hold. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wood off and this wood off down to the lines. And what we'll find is as we get a little bit closer in, we're going to be working like this, and it's going to start to hit this. That's okay, because all of this is going to go. Okay? So we're going to remove this piece and then this piece, and then we're going to work back on here exactly the way we did here. So we're going to develop a flat. Maybe I can do that. So I'm going to be working on the shape of this, and I'm looking for a smooth curve that goes all the way from here down to the toe of the slipper. Okay? And it will look remarkably like this. So I have smoothed all of this down, and I have lowered those, and then one of the things when you're doing this kind of work, so I was working on here and then I was working on there, you saw that. Well, when you work on this for a while, it changes the relationship of these feet, these sides of the slipper to the center. So you then have to go back and work these a little bit more so that everything blends together. Because what I'm trying to do is get these nice smooth curves on this face. Now, what I'm also doing at the same time is I'm absolutely not touching this line. I want to have, and in fact, if you look at my finished product, I have a hard line that runs all the way from the toe all the way up to here. So a hard line like Sam Malouf talks about, where it's an intersection of two planes. And so it catches the light, and it's something for your eye to run along. And so it's a way of the toe of the slipper catching your eye when you see the finished chair, and then that takes your eye and it runs it up to here, and now you're into the sort of the seat of the chair. So I like these hard lines. It's a characteristic of the Cabriole legs that I make. You can make them with, you can make them without. I like it with, okay? So, and because that's fundamental to where I'm going, that's something I'm always keeping an eye on. I'm not going to roll my tool over to damage it. And that's one of the reasons I'm not going to do this right now, is I'm not happy with the way I'm holding this, and I don't want to risk this edge. Okay? So that's what we're up to. So this piece turns into this piece with just about 20 minutes work. And so if you look at it, it looks okay, but it looks kind of fat. This is a chair with or a cabriole leg with inelegant ankles. So and that is probably a problem with the way I drew it, but it is what it is. I'm aware it's there, so now I'm going to fix it. Okay? So what we're going to look at next. Come on. There we go. We're going to take this cabriole leg, and this is the last thing I'm going to demonstrate. And we are going to tighten up those ankles. And we're going to do that. I drew a little line in the middle here, and I measured 3/4 of an inch on both sides. And that just happens to be what the first one was that looked good. So, and that was here. You can see the mark there and there. So I've got these lines here. I then connected from the pad of the slipper through there all the way up to here, so that I can get a sort of grace, and I'm looking for just a more graceful, slender from the front leg. So I draw that line on both sides. There we go. So you can see the line. Flat spoke shave. My favorite tool. So this isn't the world's most scientific thing the way I do it, but I am creating a flat that's more or less halfway in between these two. So I've still got a hard line at the front here, because now I have this facet here and this. So what I'm going to do then is on the back side, let me turn that around. There's no reason for you not to see this. It's not a secret. So I am very carefully not going to touch that front facet. But on the back side, I'm going to make it go away. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Sorry, you don't get to see this one. You don't get to see the line anyways. And you saw how long that took. That was like almost a minute of work. Let me show you what the result was there. So I've cut right along that line. And as you can see, it's not exact because I'm letting the tool tell me what's a fair curve. Because this is all about fair curves. They're not always symmetrical, but they're always elegant and... So in a fair curve, there are no flats, and there's a continuous change. A perfect fair curve has a continuous change in the shape. So that's the objective. So there we go. There's the two ankles trimmed, or the two sides of the ankle trimmed. So it's considerably more graceful through this section of the leg. What I would now need to do is blend these, this new facet in on both here and here. And then we're really close to done here. So what I would be doing was rotating it around and looking for anything that doesn't transition really well. So there's a fat here. Gotta get rid of that little fat piece. It's really easy for these to creep in. And the other thing is feel it, because if there are any lumpy bits, make them go away, because lumpy bits are not approved of in cabriole legs. This feels pretty good though. So I'm looking primarily at I'm looking at the edge that I can, so the defined edge, the shape that's going to be the shadow. This is not bad. We're pretty close. So a little bit more cleanup on the foot, and then it would be at the point where it just needs scraping and sanding, because we've used files and rasps to get it to a pretty good shape. We've done a lot of spoke shaving, but we've intermixed the whole bunch of them. Cabinet scraper, because I don't like sanding. I really don't like sanding. This arced one's very handy for the back face there. But cabinet scrapers work really well. They work really well on the end grain, which is both in here and in here. So it's a good tool for cleaning those surfaces. And then once you can't do any more scraping, then you have to switch to sandpaper. I rarely sandpaper at all until right before assembly of the piece of furniture, because I'm making 12 of these legs, I'm making 12 back legs, I got 6 splats to make, I got a whole bunch of chair rails. I won't sand until I'm done, because there's a lot of parts there and it gets dinged, and there's no point in sanding something and then coming back 2 months later and having to sand it some more. So I don't. I get it. This is in what I would call good enough shape for the next step in the assembly process. In the end, it's going to be polished, but not till the very end. Okay? Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned a thing or two. You take care.
Hi, I'm Joshua Farnsworth. If you like this video, I've got a whole bunch of other free woodworking videos and articles at my website, which you can visit by clicking right here. You'll go to woodandshop.com. Down here, if you click, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And over here are some really great other videos that I think you might like to check out.